Hello, I'm Bradley Din, and welcome to the Bradl-EV Podcast. Alright, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about social anxiety and how I overcame it. I've done my fair share of research on social anxiety in high school, and I can say that I was surprised with all the websites pointing out things that I went through back then. And this one website in particular, unifyhighschool.org, it tackles social anxiety in a way I did not expect. Pardon me for reading off a list real quick, but the social anxiety, or they say that social anxiety can prevent you from 1. Developing self-confidence, 2. Being comfortable in your own skin, 3. Making new friends, 4. Forming romantic relationships, 5. Getting out of your comfort zone and exploring your interests, and 6. Expressing yourself through activities you enjoy. They also brought up that teens with social anxiety can have symptoms of being overly self-conscious, uncomfortable around people, afraid of being embarrassed, and terrified of rejection. Yeah, but reading this article, it really hit me as I felt like I've had these symptoms or been prevented of some of these things over my last 3 years of high school. And I want to say 3 years because freshman year did not feel like a real year of high school to me. Sorry, I mean last 2 years of high school. Sorry about that. Because freshman year didn't feel like I had anything going, like it didn't feel like high school. Sorry. Looking back on my sophomore year though, I had a lot of these signs that I just read out in my gray hoodie, skinny jeans, thick black frame glasses, and comb over haircut that covered my forehead. But it definitely wasn't always like that in sophomore year. And there was a lot of situations or happenings that happened in sophomore year that shaped the heavy social anxiety that I had to go through. And one thing I can bring up is that I had this yellow frog bucket hat that I bought with my cousin's friends who were a year above me, and it felt really special to me because they bought matching frog bucket hats with me. I was the only one who wore it to school, and I wore it to school every day. But eventually in the year, in one of my classes, a classmate next to me told me that someone in a different class who also sat next to me called my hat stupid. And looking back at it, I really shouldn't have been offended by that much. But I really was, and I stopped wearing it for like pretty much the rest of the year. And I can only remember like 2 times I've worn it after sophomore year. I remember one was actually pretty recently too, because I had a really bad haircut. But this made me feel like I shouldn't express myself, and like with the list before, it made me afraid of expressing myself and being overly self-conscious. But yeah, social anxiety was something I really struggled with for pretty much the last 2 years of high school. And obviously it's mainly with people near my age. I just remembered another situation, sorry. In US history, junior year, we had this project where we had to make a cereal box based off of a famous US history figure. And I picked Benjamin Franklin because my family calls me Ben, because that's my nickname, even though it has no correlation to Bradley. But I did it on Benjamin Franklin, and everyone had to make a cereal box off of it with facts and info on each side, as well as an autobiography. But basically everyone presented it in front of the class except me. I made a video presentation because, you know, I'm really passionate about video editing, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But it was really embarrassing having a video of my face play up on the big screen with everyone watching. That was just me rambling on about Benjamin Franklin and my cereal box named Franklin's Charged Crunches. But it felt really embarrassing because like I didn't know a lot of people in that class, and them just watching up there, I felt like people didn't care if I loved video editing or even cared about the video in the first place. But yeah, it made me feel like I shouldn't have expressed myself at all, and I could have just had a normal presentation and just kept quiet about it. But anyways, in junior year, I also had another realization during this, but all my friends were handed to me by family. Like, my closest friends were just family friends, and the only other people I talked to at school were my cousin's friends, which were a year above me. And my family friends, as well as myself, I realized I needed to get friends at school, because this senior year I would be alone since all of my cousin's friends would have been gone by then, which they are. But my family friends, they really wanted me to have fun on my last year of high school. I also did too, because I didn't want to be a loner. But they really helped. They told me that, or they got tired of me being someone who's overly self-conscious, no self-confidence or whatever. But they just told me, you can make friends. You're funny, you're nice, blah, 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 stuff like that. So it didn't feel like, I didn't really care what they said, because I was afraid and I didn't want to be rejected by any people. I just felt like I would have come off as annoying while trying to make new friends, because who wants to join an established friend group already? That sounds really scary. But yeah, they really wanted to help me out still, so I just followed along, and they took me out to outlets to buy new clothes, and they gave me a lot of pep talks, like, no one's gonna think you're annoying or whatever, and that genuinely helps me a lot. But like, pep talks, like, go for it, it couldn't hurt that much. That's obviously not gonna fix every problem, because if it was just that simple, just hearing that would allow me to be outgoing and everything, then I wouldn't have had this problem in the first place. But it's social anxiety just isn't fixed that easily. I definitely still have some this year, but what I'm saying is, it was a long process of, like, giving myself pep talks, hyping myself up, and building courage, especially with them, like, talking with them and telling them about what I've been going through, and they've just, like, given me pep talks and advice and blah blah blah. But it was more like, social anxiety it's a lot easier to not fight it or not build up courage to talk to someone that you've wanted to be friends with. It's a lot easier to just ignore it. And that's what I did for most of my years until recently. I also have an interview with those family friends that I did mention beforehand on this topic and on their own situation. So I have my friends here, Dante, Nathan, and Dylan. Dante, can you tell us what school you go to and what year you're in?
I go to Silver Creek High School, and I'm a sophomore there.
Okay. What about you, Nathan?
I go to Milpitas High School, and I'm currently a junior.
And lastly, Dylan.
I am a student at UC Berkeley. I just completed my second year.
Okay, so these are my friends. I've told them a lot about my experience with social anxiety, and they helped me a lot, but I never got to learn about theirs. So Dante, describe a time when social anxiety hit you real hard.
This is one time. What?
Okay.
What?
Yo, Dylan. Dante.
What's up?
Dante.
Oh,
Dante.
You're gonna need to repeat that.
What happened?
You cut off really, really hard.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, one time I was in the Spanish class. Like, I didn't know anyone, and like, the first thing, like, my teacher decided to do was give us, like, a project where we had to, like, introduce each other, and, like, since I didn't know anyone, I didn't know what to say, so I kind of slipped up. Like, I forgot to, like, read some parts of my project, and my grade tanked as a result.
Oh, I get that. That sucks. I've done that before too.
Yeah.
dissatisfying group members in a group project is like a way to make you think that everyone else hates you. I hate doing that.
Yeah, it's not.
What about you, Nathan?
Probably like any kind of like presentation where you have to like get in the front of the class and like talk to everyone about like some kind of topic that you didn't want to research in the first place.
Yeah, I actually really hate projects where we don't get to pick what we research on, but we do have to research something.
Yeah.
Like when we're assigned something.
Yeah, it's even worse when you have like group members that like didn't do their part, and then like you're doing a slideshow, and then you go to their slide, and like their slide is like so mid compared to all the other ones, and then you just have to stand there next to them while they read theirs.
Yeah, I get you. Lastly, Dylan, what about you?
Yeah, my first year in college was pretty tough because the campus is huge. There's so many people studying there. I couldn't really find people to fit in with. So I got over my social anxiety by joining clubs. I found my closest friends through my clubs. I was really nervous to reach out to them, but doing like icebreakers or any group activities helps me like get to know other people and makes it easier and more comfortable to talk. And I feel like that's how I overcame my social anxiety.
Yeah, I felt the same way like entering like freshman year of high school. Like you didn't know anyone. It's like new big campus. Like the people like you can like talk to people that sit next to you and stuff and like make new friends. So it's easier that way too.
Yeah, reaching out like that, I always thought negatively about it until you guys helped me. You always made me think like, what if that's like my best friend for life or something and I just missed out on it.
Yeah, like reaching over like that like first hurdle of like getting to know someone. Like after you get over that, like everything's fine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the hardest part is like saying something first, but then like after you get over like that first conversation, like it'll be easier. Like keep on opening it up again.
Yeah.
Okay, what's one thing you guys wish people understood better about social anxiety? Maybe about like your own social anxiety and like what you've gone through.
For me, I would say it's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, people just tell you like, oh, just man up, just do it. It's really more of a mental hurdle to overcome because I feel like if you don't have the motivation or like the proper mentality, you're gonna face a roadblock and you won't be like, oh, I'm too scared to talk or like I'm kind of nervous. Like, what if they think of me weird? And then what? You just start overthinking. I don't know. Do you guys have this like thought of sometimes, or is it just me?
No, I get it. Cause when you want to do something, but you're too scared to do it, and someone tells you just do it, there's nothing wrong with it. Like a million situations play in my head where it can go wrong, while like one situation where it goes well in my head appears, but those 99 million situations where it goes wrong play in my head only, and I don't want to do it because I'm afraid that it'll happen, even though it probably most likely won't happen.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about.
To deal with that, like I usually like just like weigh out the pros and cons, and like it's probably like normally is like just like a short and one time thing. So like for example, if it's like a presentation, like you just gotta go up there for like 5 minutes, and then it'll be over. So like I just tell myself that it'll be like a quick like one time thing, and then everything will be fine after that.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh. Okay.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Okay, for the presentation thing, I think it's really easy to present research topics for like science or something, but if it's something you're passionate about, I feel like it's a lot harder, especially with social anxiety, because I just think people think it's annoying if you go really, really, really deep into something, especially if you're passionate about it. So I always find it really hard to present something that I really, really like doing.
Like you kind of like get scared like people aren't as interested as you are and like think you're just like stupid up there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bro, just be yapping.
Okay, I got one more
Huh?
question for you guys. What role does social media play in your social anxiety?
Uh, Personally, I don't really use much social media, so I haven't really experienced much. Or about you guys?
Um, I'm not sure because like I don't use it to like the extent where like it affects like my personal life and
Yeah.
my social anxiety like that.
I feel like for me, it's like a double-edged sword. You know, social media was like designed to keep up with your friends, reach out to new people, and it's really easy to like, meet mutual friends and whatnot. But I feel like it's also kind of like there's some social pressure as well. Like if you, I don't know, I feel like there's some pressure to it. I just can't put my finger onto it. I mean, maybe you would know Bradley.
I get what you mean. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. Like in my sophomore year, I never even had Instagram, but someone made me get Instagram, and I always felt like that I had to present myself so that other people would like me on Instagram.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Otherwise, I just wouldn't make friends, you know. But that's
Yeah.
really not that true. But you know, it took me it took me a really long time to realize that social media is not that important, and I can make friends without it. And it's
Hmm.
just like a stepping stool to become closer, possibly, with someone.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for your time. Do you guys have anything else to bring up or not?
I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm okay
Yeah,
too.
I don't got anything else I can think of.
Okay, well, thank you for answering these pretty personal topics. And
You're welcome.
you guys want to say anything to the end of episode 1 of the Bradl-EV podcast?
Thank you for having me. It was a good experience.
Yep. Thank you for having me. Send the check, buddy.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never done this. This is pretty fun.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and uh, uh,
Bye bye!
Buy
bye.
my merch. Buy my merch.